Hello, today we are going to talk about chats in Amazon Connect. Amazon Connect, as you know, it's a contact center on AWS that pretty much works with multiple channels: voice, task, chat, and then now they are trying to add emails and a whole new stuff to it. Today we are quickly going to run through how to work with chats. As part of our series, we've learned that on Amazon Connect, the contact center experience that we defines are built in what we call flows. And then we realize that there are different kinds of flows, from uh, customer queue flows to inbound flows to transfer to agents and a whole range of flows. When you are building a chat experience, what we do is we build an inbound flow. That is a direct flow. We've gone through a couple of them. An inbound flow is pretty much a flow, as we said, inbound that allows something into it, right? The customer calls into to work. So I'm quickly going to just open a simple or a dummy contact flow, and then I can explain our chat experience. So there is this sample inbound flow that you have in your Amazon Connect instance by default. We'll just use this for our simple test, and then I'll explain a couple of things. So inside this flow, if you look in here, what we are doing is when a customer calls into the line, we are setting a disconnect flow. Yeah, if you've watched the earlier series, you realize that I said a disconnect flow is pretty much a flow that is being invoked right when the customer engagement ends. So probably if you have a survey, this is a good place to put it. So what this flow is pretty much telling us is, if anybody comes into this flow, let's check the channel to which the person is coming in with, right? Is the person coming in through call? Is the person coming in through text, chats? And then based off that, you make a decision. So what currently you have is, if it comes in and then it's the chat, let's just simply come here and then transfer this person to this flow, and that is what pretty much is happening. If it's a task, go the same route. But if any other channel other than these two, then go through this route, give them a menu options, and then do all this. So what we are going to do now is to just add a chat and then integrate this with our inbuilt flow. So if you want chat, just come down here. You'll see something called communication widgets. So this is where we are going to build our chat widget. So what I'm going to do is to add a widget and then give my widget a name. So I'm going to call it chat test, just a description testing. Then in my chat widgets, there are a couple of things that I can enable. This will allow your customer to start a chat, allow message recipient, enable customer to see when a message has been delivered and read. I need this. So there are a couple of things that I can add. Allow post chat communication, that is enable customers to end the chat while engage. You get it. So there are lots of things, scenarios that you can bring in here. So for now, I'm just going to enable these two, and then I'll select my chat flow, which is the simple inbound flow that I mentioned. If you want to add web calling, you can enable web calling to allow people to have those engagements via call and all that. For this series, I'm not going to just demo that now, so just we'll proceed with that. And then down here, I'll select if I want to add contact forms to it. So I can see Amazon Connect is making a whole new changes to the chat flow experience. So based off what you need, you just go in there and you configure. So what I can do now is to click on save and continue. And then this is where we customize our chat widget. So there are two approaches. One is for you to build and use the inbuilt chat widgets Amazon Connect gives you, right? Or you can deploy your own custom chat widget, which is a whole new thing on its own, which is a bit complex. Majority of the case, you'll be able to use this, and then now AWS has done a great job with you being able to customize the chat widgets. I will talk about how to customize the chat widgets, the designs, in a follow-up video right after this. So do also check that out. But on this page, what you do is you style your chat widget, how the customer would see this when they try to engage support using your chat widget. So in here, you can edit some of this header. So I can change it. How can I help you? Let me just, instead of a question, let me do an exclamation. So you see, as I change it, it reflects here. Then if I want to change the color code, I can proceed to play with this. If there is a logo and things like that that I like to add, I can proceed to do all that in here. If I want to change the fonts, I can still do that. If there are tests, so you can play with this and then see if a customer comes in with a message, if it's a system message, if it's a message coming in from Lex. We've worked with Lex, so the flow is pretty much the same flow experience that we've been talking about. You can associate any flow and anything to it and it'll be good. So this is just the dummy widgets that we have. So what I'm going to simply do is to click on save. This is one of the critical components of this piece. This is how then do I add this chat widget to my website. Before you're able to do that, you have to add your domain as part of this widget, else it's going to be blocked. So what I'm going to quickly do is to add my local hosts. I have a dummy website that will integrate a chat widget with. So for now, I'm just going to add localhost port 5000. And then for security, I'm going to select no for now. I'm not using any JWT. So save it. Then this is it. So now my chat widget is ready. And the most important bit of this whole thing is this. So this is the script that you will integrate with your website for you to be able to see or access this chat widget. But before I do that, there is a way for you to test your chat widget to see if it's working on Amazon Connect itself. And you simply do that by coming in here and then opening test chat. So on this page, you simply click on this, and I think I already have my inbound flow selected. Click on apply. Then as you have it, hello, thank you for contacting us. This is blah blah blah. The time in queue is less than 5 minutes. This is so where are we getting that experience from? In our contact flow, right? It comes in, it checks, it plays this hello message to them. Then it's transferring them to this flow. So if you follow this flow chain, you realize that you get this text experience in them. You are now being placed in a queue to connect with a chat agent. Let me just type in, all right. I'm quickly going to activate my CCP. Or if you want the agent workspace, you can open both from here. But I want to just activate it so that we see it along the lines. Okay, good. So now set myself available. Because this is a dummy flow, I'm sure it's going to go into the, how do you call it? The basic queue. So that's why it comes in. So this is what the agent experience. This is just simulated it. So as you can see, this is a system message. So if I reply in as an agent, hello. So this is pretty much an identifier since I'm logged in as an IAM admin into Amazon Connect instance. That's why you see it. So if you are logged in as your actual agent, you are going to see something like this. So the customer then can proceed to chat with the agent. So this starts on a high level. Now, how then do we integrate our chats with our website? I'm quickly going to generate just a simple website using Claude. So I think I have Claude AI. You can just generate it with any AI of your choice. So just this would give me a simple I want beautiful HTML file integrate HTML web app. So you can just ask this. So basically what I'm saying is Claude should give me just a simple website that I can integrate my web application in. So this is nothing fancy. So you can just generate any site of your choice. I wasn't expecting this. Guys, you can generate anything of your choice. I wasn't expecting this. But this looks good. Let me just copy this code and then I'll show you guys this on my local. So I'm going to simply open Visual Studio Code. Here's a test editor. Yes, so I have this simple folder. I'm just going to quickly paste what we got from Claude into my local and then. So you can just open your VS Code, generate something, and then you can integrate it. Do all to deploy your charts and then let me know. Send me pictures, tag me on LinkedIn and all other platforms. So this is a chart widget that was kind of deployed by this. Yeah, so for me to just test this thing on my local, I'm going to click on go live. As you can see, these are charts widgets running. So remember, after creating the charts, I mentioned that this is the most important piece. If I want to have my chat widget or my chat connected to my website, all that I got to do is to come into my website code, which is this, and then somewhere in there, I can paste my script. So now let me save and then come to my website. There we have it. So now you can see this thing has been added. So this is the chat widget of our chats from Amazon Connect. So, oops, something went wrong. Now, guys, I want you guys to see something. You see, if you look at my chat widget, the port is port 5500. So I have to now look at the port number I added to my chat widget when creating it. So I have localhost port 5000. This is fine. Now what is happening is, look at how I'm currently accessing my website. Because this is not a live website, the name here should match what is in there. So I can access the same website on my local host, right? By doing this. If I do this, you're able to see the chat widgets. It's the same web page again. The 127 thing you see here corresponds to what we have as localhost. Now, if I come in here, you can see our widgets loading. So you see, the same chat message we had whilst testing on the UI. And now the chat is coming in. So this is how simply you can associate your chat with your website. So you can have your engagement and do whatever you love to do. This is pretty much it. All other things that you've learned so far applies here. Your routing profile, your queuing and everything still works the same. But this is how you simply integrate it. So if you had an actual website and then you are doing the integration, all that you do is, instead of this domain, you can add your actual website domain in here. And then that is it. Then you proceed to integrate the script with your website and then you have it in this form. Thank you so much for watching. The next video, I'm going to talk about how you can quickly customize this interface to make it much nicer and appealing.